I love that he was in here to clean his room and he didn't even fix his bed. Hey, this is BROXAH and this is Caps' AMD Ryzen Shine. So I think when Caps wakes up, you know, he usually lays down, like he lays like this, and then he wakes up, and the first thing he sees is this picture down here. The first thing you actually see from the bed is this picture of his idol Jesus. I think it's really, really harsh for Caps to actually admit that Jesus is now a part of Misfits. I think when he found out, he was heartbroken. Like, it was one of the saddest days of his life. He generally doesn't really set an alarm. Like, he just wakes up when he wakes up, or when Dylan comes and screams at him. You never really know when you're gonna see Caps at the office. Okay, so I think how Caps cleans his room is that he actually doesn't clean, but what he does instead is that he takes this book. Because he thinks of cleaning, then he looks up here at the shelf, and then he sees this book called Art of League of Legends, which is Caps' favorite book. Reading a bit about the lore for different champions, or reading a bit about Tryndamere. Like, this is something really important for Caps, and if Caps doesn't get to read a bit in this book every morning, he will just simply feed in scripts. When it comes to Caps making his bed, I think the answer is he simply doesn't make his bed. Like, I think this is just how his bed looks like. Like, maybe after he makes it, it will look like this instead. Maybe throw the pillow over here, but I think he just wakes up and then he just picks whatever he sees. Like, maybe he will pick something over here. If he's in the Fnatic mood, he will pick this beautiful jacket from last year. The closest Caps gets to fitness routine is when he runs to lane in solo queue, to be honest. When he really feels it, he will take his Teemo hat right here, put on the hat, and then go for a little run. But I mean, that probably doesn't happen too often. But Caps' beauty routine is simply that in the morning he comes here in our beautiful bathroom, he takes a shower, he brushes his teeth, and then he just goes to the office. Like, when his hair is dry, it just sits in some way, and then that's how he looks like during the day. If he doesn't forget to brush his teeth almost every second day, I will be really surprised. So Caps actually has his insane secret passage to the office. For some reason he believes that when he goes here, he can like jump into the wall and actually then teleport to the office. You know, maybe one day I'll be in my room and I'll hear boom, and that's just Caps jumping into the wall, trying to get to the office.
When you run into that wall, you enter.
All he thinks of is what champion he's gonna play during the day. Like, something I forgot to mention earlier is that every day Caps has a new champion he wants to play. Down this walk, all he thinks of is how he can make scrims hard for us to stay. Like, in what way is he going to trigger Dylan? What champion will Dylan hate the most? And how can he trigger him the most? Okay, so Caps actually rarely eats breakfast, but there's one thing that's really important for him in the morning, and now we're just gonna go to the fridge and check if it's there. And sadly enough, I do not see any freshly squeezed orange juice, which is the most important thing for Caps in the morning. Like, as you all saw at Worlds in China, if Caps doesn't get his freshly squeezed orange juice, the world is just going under. Like, he's really not surviving. When Caps walks towards the door, he will often be so fully focused on League of Legends that generally he will just forget about shoes or anything. He will just walk to the door. Maybe he thinks there's a secret passage here as well. Like, if he's really feeling it, he will just jump into the door and think that this is a teleport to the office. But if it's one of his good days, he will open the door, he will walk outside. Maybe when he's at the office already, he will realize that he forgot to put on his shoes. Like, you never know, it just depends a bit on his mood. But I think for the most part, he will just jump into the door and try to teleport to the office.